Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's workshop. So, in the spirit of completing and wrapping up the projects for the new babies that are due to come to the rooming house, I had to show you what else I did to the little crib that I added the little skirt to. And if you haven't seen the video where I added the little skirt to this little crib, I will leave a link in the description. But in this frame, I'm actually painting some little plastic roses that I have because I want to add them to the crib to enhance the style a little bit. And I painted them the same color that I painted the little crib because I want the tiny roses to appear as though they are a carved part of the design and not an attachment. Now I'm attaching these little roses with weld bond glue, and I'm trying really hard to be really precise in my placement and use my precision tweezers to place the little roses on the end of the crib. But then I struggled trying to get the little roses off of the double stick tape, and by the time I actually got the roses off, I went back to just using my fingers to attach them to the crib. And although I wasn't as neat and dainty as I wanted to be in this process, I think it still turned out cute. Now, I will recommend that you use an ample amount of glue if you're going to do this type of treatment to any of your furniture because you want the glue to fill in any gaps where you attach your little roses. Now, I use the weld bond glue, but I believe that wood glue will work really well also because it'll fill in the gap between the surface of your piece of furniture and the tiny roses. But if there is any gapping after everything is dried, I would suggest that you just add a little bit more glue to the point where you attached it. Now that I've got my little tiny roses attached, I really like the way it turned out, but I wanted to do a little something to bring it out a little bit. So I mixed a little paint kind of in a salmon tone, and I'm just kind of hitting the highlights of the roses to just kind of make the design stand out a little bit. No, I just happen to be using this little salmon colored paint that I just recently mixed up, but you could use rub and buff, whether it be silver or gold or bronze, or you could even use a green or even a brown, depending on the look that you're trying to achieve. Now, with something like this, you can do as much or as little as you like. I have a tendency to get carried away when I'm doing things like this. And after I got through painting all the little roses, I really liked the look of it so much that I ended up painting all four posts of the little crib the same color. And I really think that just that little bit of that salmon color really added a lot to the little crib, gave it a little bit more dimension. And I think it did a nice job in picking up the colors that are on the little sheet inside the crib. And I'm kind of feeling like I better put my paintbrush down before I get carried away again. So while the paint is drying on the crib, I wanted to go ahead and show you some of the other little projects that I did. So I had this lovely little piece of fabric that was gifted to me from Sherry Lynn's granddaughter, Avery. And the tiny piece of fabric, I originally considered using it as a pot holder, but then I looked at it again and I thought it would be the perfect size to create a little bib for one of the babies. So I added a little bit of glue to the perimeter of the tiny piece of fabric and then used that lovely trim that was gifted to me by Rich from Rich Miniatures. And it was so perfect because the trim was so tiny, it didn't overpower the print. It really looked right in scale. And I just laid the little trim right around the edge. And when working with something this small, dolls, you have to take your time because I didn't want to pull it where it would come off of where I already added it. Now I am using tacky glue, the Aleene's tacky glue, which is my favorite when I'm working on doll clothes and fabric projects. And you can kind of see in this frame how I curved it as I went around to kind of shape the little bib. And after I got it as high as I needed it, I trimmed off the excess. And then I added a really thin bead of glue across the top to finish off the body of the bib. So while the little body of the bib was drying, I went on to paint the little bowl that she had given me as well. Now it was the cutest little bowl and I thought it would be perfect for feeding the babies. I had a little bit of paint mixed up from something that I worked on earlier, so I added a couple coats of that to the little bowl and allowed it to dry. So while all those items were drying, I thought I would do a little bit of baby supply inventory. And one of the main things you want to have as a top of your list for new babies is diapers. Now, I have several of these packages of diapers that were gifted to me by several of my precious dolls, and I really appreciate all the diapers. Now, I know during the Victorian times there were no disposable diapers, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm not a purist when it comes to my dollhouse miniature world and things I like. So just like I believe that a dollhouse is never finished, I also don't believe that my dollhouse has to be historically accurate. Now, I know this doesn't directly have anything to do with babies, but I have these two beads that I thought were so pretty. It was a bead and a bead spacer, and I glued them together, and then I pinched off one of the little floral pieces that I received as a gift in an earlier unboxing. I will leave a link in the description when I received these items. And I know making that quick little floral arrangement was a little bit random and off topic, but I think it'll come in handy. Oh wait, let me show you really quick. I added some really thin silk ribbon to the back of the little bib, and I think it's going to be perfect for one of the babies. And I liked it so much that I made a second one. I found another little scrap among my things and made a second bib. Now, this little baby basket was a gift, and I really love the idea of it. And it's a couple little things tucked in here, but I think they need to be secure. It's like a little washcloth and some baby care products, but I think I want to add some more things to it. So I just want to pull out all the baby supply things so I can really see what I have. Now, this is a lovely little picture, and the really cute thing about this picture is it's a picture of a baby, and there's some little shoes, little bronze shoes that go along with it. So some of these things are so tiny. I'm going to use this nice little tray my precious doll Frances gave me. It's kind of a tray to keep tiny jewelry pieces on, but I'm going to use it to put some of the baby things on. Now, those are the little tiny bronze shoes that came along with the little picture frame. Look how tiny those are. Look at that, dolls. Isn't that cute? If my memory serves me correctly, I think I got those at that estate sale the other summer. But I'm so excited about finally being able to stage these things inside the dollhouses. Now, here is another precious little teddy bear to be part of the collection for one of the babies. But look at him, dolls. Isn't he precious? Now, this tiny teddy bear already has a name. I'm calling him Little Smoke, which is what my daddy called my first teddy bear. And dolls, look at all these wonderful little treasures. So I've got a little baby book, and I've got a little mug that says baby, baby powder, some tiny blocks that are glued together, and even some tiny baby lotion. Now, that lotion and mug definitely came from the estate sale because they're actually metal. Now, let me show you some more of my little tiny treasures. Now, these are very reminiscent of childhood. They're two pair of little Mary Jane shoes. Aren't those cute, dolls? I ought to make them black patent leather, but I'm so tickled because they're red on the inside. I may actually need to clone those. Now, in this next tiny package, I have two little bottles, one with a pink nipple and one with a blue nipple. And just to be clear, all of the babies in my dollhouse community are breastfed, so they actually don't use bottles, but bottles are just cute, so I do have them as a part of the collection. Now, that's a baby oil. I was trying to zoom it in a little bit better, but it's not working. Oh, and I almost forgot about this lovely little bear. He is so cute, but I'm going to have to work on him a little bit. But before I show you that, let me show you what else I made recently. Now, I made these to kind of go along with those little Mary Jane shoes. Now, I normally make my little girls' dresses to be on hangers, but these I was just freestyling one day and just made them just kind of just without the hangers. But I want you dolls to let me know, would you be interested in me making some little dresses like this to be in my store? Let me know the kind of things that you would be interested in purchasing. Now here I want to show you Aunt Charlotte's new baby. I redressed her and added some little booties to her feet, and I think she looks really cute. And I think the smaller dress makes her look more like a newborn. And then this is the little baby that's assigned to be Violet and Albert's new little baby, and it's in the little basket. Think it looks so cute and dressed so nice. I'm so tickled about this doll. He is just such a tiny, precious one. Okay, and let me stop before I go too far so I can go ahead and get this little teddy bear together. Now, he is so precious and so cute. And there's the little bowl that I painted that Avery gave me. So I've just got to find a tiny spoon to go with it. Now here's a quick close-up, and I did find a couple extra bottles there, but let me go ahead and brown up this bear. Now he really is adorable in pink, but it really won't fit into my time period with the bright pink and the logos, so I'm adding some watered down acrylic paint to make him look a little bit more naturalized so he'll fit into my scene. So dolls, while I'm letting him dry, I wanted to go ahead and start adding a few of my little extras to a little dresser just to kind of get a feel for how things will look. So just consider this another one of those times where I just had to start playing. For me, taking time to play really helps me to know what I need to do next. I do have a couple picture frames that I wanted to consider because I'm really inspired by that little picture of the baby and the tiny bronze shoes. So I'm just going through a few of my picture frames because I believe I have a couple pictures of babies I could frame. And then I'd be able to put the picture of the baby on the parents' wall in their bedroom and it'll look like a first photo. So dolls, if you would just bear with me a moment while I go through a few of these. And I really have accumulated quite a few beautiful pictures and so many lovely frames. Look how lovely that swan would look inside that frame. I definitely am going to need to schedule a picture framing video. But we can't get into that right now, dolls, but I really am excited about the idea. It's like literally one project leads me right into the next one. So I do have some lovely frames that would look cute with baby pictures in them. So let me see if I can find the baby pictures. Now, many of these wonderful baby pictures came from my precious doll Becky C and my precious doll Terry V. Now look at this one. Doesn't that look like him? He literally looks like the head baby in charge. Now, even though I really like that frame, I don't want to cut off any of the image, so I'm going to need to find another one. Now here's another really nice frame. I'm going to need to finish it, but I think it may work out and be a good size. Okay, let me save that aside. Oh my goodness, I have to calm down. I'm so excited. Dolls, look at this little sweetie pie. Oh, that is so cute. Yes, I'm going to save that one. And look at these pretty girls. Oh my goodness, with the big bows and the big hair. Oh, I really like this one. It reminds me of Big Ma. Oh, and here's a young couple picture. I can use that. And I definitely need to frame these prints from the color purple that Jolene gave me. Oh my goodness, look at this one. It's a family with all the girls or the ladies. Where's that other frame? Let me see. Yes, oh my goodness, that really looks good together. Oh, it looks so vintage. I really love the mood of that picture. Yeah, I know it's not a baby picture, but I'm going to have to do that. Okay, let me stay focused. But oh my goodness, look at this little sugar plum. Okay, wait, let me try one of the little frames and see if I can find one. Oh, that's so cute. That might work. That really might work. Okay, I'm going to save that aside as well. I did want to keep the full baby in one of the other images. This one looks kind of cute in this one where it's focused mainly on her face and her big pretty eyes. So dolls, this video was supposed to be the grand finale of me creating all the different things for the babies. And then I received another incredible package at my P.O. box. And when I opened it and saw some of the things that were inside, I had to include them in this video. Now, I will do an actual unboxing of these wonderful treasures, but I've got to give a quick shout out right now regarding those diaper pins. That is incredible. I have never seen teeny weeny diaper pins, so I have to give a special honorable mention about those diaper pins. So let me go ahead and finish this video, but I will do a full unboxing and full acknowledgments. But when I opened the box and saw the things that were inside, I couldn't end this video without these things. They were just too cute. I couldn't leave them out. I think it's just one of those moments where when you think you've seen everything and then you see something you've never seen. I have never seen diaper pins that small. I mean, they are absolutely magnificent. And so I took two off that were open and I'm saving the other ones. So let me go ahead and finish. So dolls, I needed to go ahead and load the little trunk, so let me show you what I did. So this piece of lace was left over from Curly's original dress, and I put a piece of styrofoam in it, and I did that to kind of fill up the bottom of the trunk so that my tiny treasures wouldn't be hidden on the inside. I want everything to be visible. Now these are some of the little boxes that I made in another video. I don't think I've shown it yet, but I covered some of them with wallpaper, and now I'm going to just put a little glue on the inside and stuff them with tissue paper to make it look as though they're gifts that have been opened already. And I'm using some remnants of some tissue paper from probably a gift one of you dolls have given me. Now you dolls can see I've got a lot of things scattered on my desk, so I just pull out everything that I love and then just see what works or what will fit into my scene. So dolls, I want you to keep in mind, I really don't have a plan right now. I'm just tucking things in to see how they'll look the most attractive. So right now, dolls, I'm just playing, and I'll know when it's finished when I really like the way it looks. So I'm stacking a couple more boxes, putting the lids on them, and that fits in there kind of nice and neat. Now I got a couple bibs here other than the ones that I made. These were mass produced and they're a little bit modern, so I added a little trim around them to try to vintage them up. And although they won't fit in with this trunk, they'll go along with some of the other baby things when I do another setting, so I'll just keep them all together. Oh my goodness, I've got to show you something else that was among the things in the unboxing that I haven't posted yet. Dolls, you got to see this. This is way too precious. Will you just take a moment and look at this? Look at this blanket. It's all perfectly folded. But you know the thing about it, I don't want to put it in there where you won't be able to see it. It's too cute. It's too pretty to be hidden, although it fits really perfectly in the trunk. So again, these are the things you have to think about when you're staging your items. You know, some things you really want to be on display. You don't want them hidden. Now, I want you dolls to be clear. This is truly edited video because it took me a lot longer to fill this little trunk than what I've shown you here in this video. And I'm really getting where I really like to share these times and these moments because I really want to encourage you dolls to play, because playing allows your imagination to blossom. Just allowing yourself to be free enough to play will truly unlock your creativity. And my best recommendation would be to continue to play until you like what you see, even if you have to walk away and come back. And try not to just slap it together just so you can say you're done, because you won't be happy with it. And I want to say defiantly, playing is not wasted time. So let me go ahead and show you dolls everything all put together. Now, if you enjoyed this video today and want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe and let me know what you enjoyed the most in the comments. And I want to say a warm welcome to all my new subscribers. I sure do appreciate you for being here. And a big thank you to Monica S. for buying me coffee. I appreciate it so much because it really encourages me. Well, dolls, I better get back to my craft table so I can get these babies born. But I'm looking forward to seeing you next time right here on Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye-bye now, dolls.